Hey guys, this is number two, the second video of how to use Infernities. So in this one, I'm not going to be talking about combos as much as I am optimal plays that you really want to do, because everybody knows that Infernities take a bit of practice to use, and it's a good result in the long run. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to shuffle the deck. I'm going to do it on camera so that trolls don't think that I stack the deck. And if you want to see the deck itself, I did a deck profile right before I did this video, and I put it up there on my channel, so go check that out. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna say here is patience. With Infernities, you really need patience because it is very easy to go for the most explosive play possible, and doing that most of the time, if you go as explosive as possible, you will lose advantage. You may not lose advantage then and there, but you will, one second, you will eventually lose a lot of advantage. Second thing I want to say is abuse the +1 cards, the +1 cards in the deck. And if you watched the deck profile, you know how many of those cards I have in here, which altogether I think I have about 5 cards that can go +1. And I'm talking about the Spell and Trap cards. And I'm talking about Toronto Tribute, Mirror Force, and Dark Hole. All those can net you a +1. And you really want to abuse that, because every trap card in this deck, every spell and trap cards, if it does not have anything to do with your combo pieces, it's a 1-for-1. And what that does is it turns the entire game into a top-decking battle. And there are not many decks out there that can out-top deck an Infernity deck. And so that's the whole strategy for this deck, is to turn the game into a top-decking battle, to have outs to everything your opponent has, and to eventually go off and have protection and just take the opponent out as fast as, not necessarily as fast as possible, but with as big as monsters as you can make. So I'm going to do a couple test hands here, and I'll talk about what to do in going first and in going second. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's say you're going first. Now this first hand isn't absolutely horrible. Now, there are a couple things you can do here. Your first option would be to set the Archfiend. What setting the Archfiend does is allows you to, 1, conceal what you're playing, and 2, allows you to get your Archfiend into the graveyard, because Archfiend, in case you didn't know, has 1200 defense. You can see right there. And if your opponent's attacking into it, they are probably going to get over it somehow. The second thing you can do is summon your tour guide, and either go for the bad play, which would be special summoning your Necromancer from your hand. Yes, you can do that with tour guide. You can special summon your level 3s from your hand. Or you can reach out into your deck and get your Infernated Necromancer from there, overlay into Zen Mains, or Zen Mines, whatever you want to call it. And that would be a first turn setup. And Zen Mains, if used correctly, can net you a +1 also. If going second, your Infernity Archfiend is your power card in your hand right now, beside your tour guide. You could either summon your Archfiend and risk attacking over whatever monster they have if you want to save your Dark Hole. What that allows you to do, it's not a necessarily really bad play, but what that does is that, 1, if you run into a Dimensional Prison, you have your tour guide into Leviair and special summon it. If it gets destroyed, you have this, your Necromancer, which eventually can get you your monster back. You could always go into your Zen Mains and attack and carry it out from there, or you can just set your Necromancer, which is not a horrible play. But that's all the options that you can do. Not all of the options. You can always set your Mirror Force and all that. And always play something out differently, but those, in my opinion, are what I would do. So, since I can only go up to 10 minutes and I'm at 5, I will try speeding things up. I'm not that good at shuffling these at the angle that I'm positioned at. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a relatively good hand. In setting up, you've got your Zero Max, Pot of Duality, Dark Hole, Infernity Launcher, and your Foolish Burial. Now, if you're going first and you want to be defensive, if you want to be completely defensive, if that's the only thing you want to do is defend, is you would set your Guardian and set all the cards, and then activate your Pot of Duality and see what you get, and choose the spell or trap card. That is a bad play in my opinion, just because you're setting all your spell and trap cards, and you've got this Infernity Launcher that you have. Another play you could do is activate your Infernity Launcher. Use its effect to discard your Guardian. I'm going to put these in my hand right now, just so that I can set up a feel. So, deck, graveyard. You've got your hand. You can activate your Infernities Launcher, use its effect, its first effect, to discard your Guardian. Then you can either set all your cards, and then activate your Zero Max, special summoning your Guardian. And now that you've special summoned, you can't use your your Pot of Duality. And that's just if you don't want a normal summon. That's one play. Of course, it's a pretty bad play. But in this particular case, personally, I would just go into the Duality. The Duality opens up more options for this otherwise dead hand. You can bring out your Guardian, but it isn't totally necessary. It doesn't really net you any pluses. If anything, it gets you a minus. So if you're dealing with top 3, it would be your Archfiend, your Compulsory Evacuation Device, and your Stygian Street Patrol. Now right here, your opponent knows you're playing Infernities. So the gig is up. You add your Archfiend. And this is always a matter of opinion. For me, personally, I would add my Archfiend. Send the 2 back to the deck. And then I'd set my Archfiend. Of course, you might want to shuffle your hand first, do all that, but inevitably, I would set the Archfiend. What that does is it allows them to attack into it, get into the graveyard. Next turn, you've got your Zero Max, or Zero Max makes it miss timing, but you've got Launcher, all those. Let's try another one here. This is probably going to be the last hand. I'm probably only going to be going over a couple plays you can do in it. But there's definitely going to be more parts to these videos, because this one I was only doing test hands, and the thing I wanted to do was get into the concepts and ideas, and eventually I want to start talking about bluffing with this deck. 4, 5, 6. So you've got Compulsory Evacuation Device, Call to Haunt, Zero Max, Necromancer, and Compulsory Evacuation Device. In this particular hand, I would probably set everything, just because. And if your opponent heavy storms, it really sucks to be you. You can always save cards in your hand because the next card isn't necessarily always going to be an Archfiend. It's going to be a Necromancer. So, anyways, those, I'm running out of time here, so those were a couple test hands. If you saw the first video, the video before this one, you would know why I'm running Zero Max. So if you're sitting there saying, why is he running Zero Max? It's such an awful card. I'm testing that card out for now because a friend recommended it to me, and yeah, and like I said in the video before this one, in theory it should provide to be pretty good in the mid and late game. Not necessarily in the beginning of the game, but yeah, if you haven't checked out my other 2 videos, go check them out. They're all about Infernities, so if you're an Infernity duelist, you want to check them out. Yeah, comment, rate, subscribe, and tell me what I can do better to make better videos. Just put it in the comment box, comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.